Okay, done a bit of manual zoom because I'm now going to do some more stuff on the boundary box. This is going to help us analyse the shape of the face, the shape of the mouth, the shape of the eyes as well. So there are things we know about eyes and nose and stuff. I'm just going to put that to the side. So when we're left to our own devices, we tend to take things like eyes and nose and mouth out of this kind of mental catalogue. So we know that eyes, we know that there's a round bit in the middle, and a round bit in the middle of that. We know there's a tear duct, and we know that the top arc is bigger than the bottom arc, but we generally end up with something fairly symmetric, and we know that there's eyelashes on that. And that's a very unsophisticated eye for a few obvious reasons. I'm going to do a little tutorial on a bit more of what to look for when you're looking at eyes in a moment, but in general, but specifically regarding this little bunny, we're going to do boundary boxes around each of the eyes. So,
fix it.
You can do the red one. Yeah. So this time I have the pointy end. So if I do a little rectangle around this, where the extremities are touching each side, it ceases to be the thing I just drew, and it starts to be this triangle. I'll just put that one a bit higher up. This triangle and this triangle with a slight dibble there. And within the eye, it's really useful to notice this triangle, so this white triangle, this little white spot, but also because this white triangle and this white dot will tell you an awful lot about which way the eye is pointing. But also, then you notice the first thing I did was I put on the extremity, and then I looked where it comes in here, and I looked where it comes in there. And that information tells you she is slightly looking up from her point of view. And we do a similar kind of process on this eye. So if I take the extreme of where the eyelashes end and the extreme of the tear duct, and I again do the boundary box. Oops, daisies. Again, this eye ceases to be about that thing I showed you a minute ago, and it becomes about this triangle and this triangle and that bit, and pretty much the rest is that tear duct pretty much comes down to this corner. But then we've got this triangle and this triangle, and that tells you where the eye is pointing. And it's more useful to pay attention to these triangles than this circle. But I will do a little tutorial on eyeballs regarding that circle. So, little tutorial on eyeballs. So some of the things that you're looking for in eyeballs, if I just do a kind of mini version of one of those boundary boxes for that eye, one of those eyes. So that's a basic outline of the eyeball. Sorry, the eye that we can see. We've got a tiny little thing there. We've got that pattern there. So that tells me enough information about where the eye is looking. So if I want to, this photograph is not actually telling us stuff about the pupil and the iris, but that in itself is giving us plenty of information. Little spot of light, and then I can erase the boundary box. And I've got one eyeball of a cute little bum, and then I can kind of nail it in and oopsies, and get it more and more believable, etc., etc., etc. So great to know that stuff. That's that eye specifically. Eyes generally, it is worthwhile understanding that you've got your eyeball, you've got your iris, and you've got your pupil. So that's the black bit, that's the coloured bit, and that's the white bit with the veins on. Most of, if you're looking at an animal, pretty much all of the white is hidden within the eyelids. If you're looking at a human, we're kind of looking at about this kind of much hidden in the eyelids. So all of that is behind skin. So the next things to note is where this circle tends to be relative to eyelids. If the person is looking at you, you're actually expecting this upper eyelid to be slightly cut across the top of the eye. And depending whether or not they are shorter than you or taller than you, you're expecting anywhere from the lower eyelid cutting about there, so less of the bottom circle, to cut into there, to cut into there. I'll show you the standard one we see, maybe refers to my height. I will see pretty much all of the circle at the bottom, but I won't see all of the circle at the top. And I'll see the eyelid there, so let's stick an eye thingy there. So I'm expecting to see this kind of level of eyeball when I look at somebody. These triangles will tell me that the person is looking directly at me. If they want to be looking over there, I'm expecting this to be smaller and this to be larger. So if you're getting people who look like they're not pointing the face in the right direction, that will be why. The next thing to note is if you want somebody to look a bit more sleepy, then this upper eyelid will cut across a bit more, so that it's actually starting to cut into the black. And you can see that person already looks sleepier. If they're a little bit alarmed, their eyes will really open up and the pupil will constrict. I'll show that in a minute. But put the circle back on and put the pupil back in. If somebody is absolutely alarmed, we'll actually see white above the eye. Okay, so we'll be able to see all of that. And at this point, we really are most likely to become aware of the thickness of the eyelid, because this part of the eyelid is touching the eyeball, and this part of the eyelid is where the actual eyelash is coming out. So you'll get this strip of pink that you'll actually be able to see. This one is actually slightly wider than the lower one, which you can normally see. person now looks pretty alarmed. The next things to note are some stuff